there's just 7 habits that completely transformed my entire life at the age of 17. And in this very video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you all the 7 habits, how I started applying them, what difference did they make in my life, and why I feel like these are the habits that everybody should at least try applying for their own to see how they can level up with these habits, right? So before we actually get to the habits itself, right, these are the habits that work for me. That's the very first thing that I wanted to acknowledge in this very video. The absolutely best way to find out what works for you is just to test and refine things as you go, right? Because obviously you can try certain habits, but they might not work for your specific type of, right? Like you simply might not just find them enjoyable. You might not find them useful, and it's completely normal. So you might as well just want to test out a bunch of different habits and see what works for you best, right? So one more thing, I can promise that after applying the stuff you're about to see in the next few minutes, you will become a millionaire tomorrow, because you probably won't. But what I can promise is that the habits below are what completely changed my life at the age of 17 and might change yours too. So guys, getting to the habits. The very first habit on my list is no phone before breakfast. Now, what I mean by that is that every single time I used to wake up back in the day, 2 years, 3 years ago, the first thing I would do is I would just take my phone and start scrolling reels. And now let me tell you, this is the absolute worst way to start your day. Now the reason, there's various of reasons, but just the first reason is that in the morning, your mind is at its peak. It's the easiest moment where you can just actually go ahead and focus. It's the moment where you can go ahead and get a bunch of work done, just because there is no distractions, right? You just woke up, you are well rested, you had 7-8 hours, hopefully, of sleep. Now you're ready to crush the day. So if you touch your phone, you're already gonna crash this state, and you're not going to be as focused as you would be if you just straight after waking up, do your routine and get right into work. That's what I do every single day, right? I don't have 10-step routine. What I actually have is, I would say, 2-step routine. Just basically wake up, shower, journal, boom, get to work, right? And this is what's helping me the most, because I'm going to be honest, in the morning, I get my focus hours, which I feel like is something that everybody has, and I'm getting the most work done, which leads me to the second habit, which is deep work in the morning. Every single day, I do deep work in the morning, right? Back in the day, when I was in school, obviously I couldn't really do my deep work in the morning, but what I would actually do is at least get some first tasks done. So I would wake up just 30 to 40 minutes earlier and at least prepare my task list, do some journaling, and get some stuff done, because those are the focus hours. So at least I could have a proper task list and things like that, which I feel helped me a lot in the journey. But right now, I'm a high school dropout, so I don't go to school, and what I do is I wake up at about 7:50 a.m. and what I do is I go shower, I take some coffee, some water, I journal, and I immediately get some work done. And again, the reason why is because your focus is the biggest in these hours, right? So what that means is you are able to get 5-6 hours worth of deep work done in like 2 to 3 hours, which is something that I do. I do about 3 hours of work in the morning, because then I usually get pretty hungry. So I don't actually eat breakfast, usually before 11 a.m. or sometimes even noon, right? So this is absolutely powerful, and I definitely recommend that to every single person, because I promise you that in the morning, these are the hours where you're not distracted. Usually, most of the times, if you are, ideally change some sort of a schedule, because these are the hours where you should be able to focus, you should be able to get a lot of stuff done, just because there is no distractions at all, at least in my life, right? It's like 7:30 a.m., there's lots of people sleeping, there's no one messaging me, there's no one calling me, there's no people who want to go out to discuss some things, right? I can fully just focus on their work. So that's the habit number 2. Then that also leads me to the habit number 3, which I already mentioned in this video, which is journaling. Now, the reason why I journal, and by the way, I journal for about 1 year, just about 1 year at this point. And what I do with journaling is I simply put all of my thoughts on paper, right? So why I do it is because it clears my mind like nothing else. I wake up, I shower, and I immediately just journal. So I'm able to put all of my thoughts, all of my anger, and all of the things that I think about on a daily basis on paper, which just calms me down and gets me to the flow, gets me to the position where I can actually go ahead and get the work done, which is absolutely powerful, because this is this one thing that I do before deep work that's able to kind of get me in that focused state. And what that also does is it triggers my brain that I'm in that flow and that I'm just about to get to deep work, which leads me to another point, which is lightening the candle. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be lightening the candle, but that's what I actually do and what is my habit. And this is basically a trigger, right? Work trigger, which is something that's absolutely powerful, probably one of the most powerful things you can do when you're working. And so basically what you do is you have one specific thing that you do when you do deep work. Like, and this is only the thing that you do while you do deep work. So there is no, let's say I lighten the candle. In fact, I actually have this candle right here. And what happens is you only use the specific thing, or you only do the specific activity when you do work or deep work, right? So for me, it's lightening the candle because, this is something that I don't really do outside of work. Like, why would I lighten the candle? And this is something that immediately tricks my brain that, okay, I lightened the candle, so now it's time to go ahead and get some work done, right? So again, as I said, it doesn't need to be necessarily lightening the candle. It could be drinking a specific drink. It might be drinking a coffee. But personally, I also like to drink a coffee just outside of work. So potentially, I just go to a cafe. Maybe I'm in a restaurant even. I just like to go to order some espressos and enjoy the coffee there. So the biggest thing and the most important thing with this specific habit is that you don't use your trigger, which might be the candle, might be the coffee, whatever there is, anywhere else outside of that deep work state that you want to get into, right? Because if I would start lightening the candle, in my home, just like when I'm not working, then my brain would stop thinking of this activity as something that I do before getting to work. So my brain would actually be distracted, and then anytime I lighten the candle, it wouldn't really remind me and my brain of, oh, Kuba is just about to get into some deep work, right? Because right now, I do that only when I'm about to get into that deep work state. So when I lighten the candle, my brain immediately identifies this as, okay, cool, it's time to get some deep work done, right? It's time to focus. So absolutely powerful, guys. It's gonna take some time until your brain finally catches up and knows that this is the activity, this is a trigger that you do to get to deep work, but it's going to be absolutely worth it. So again, just choose the habit that you would like. It might be drinking a specific drink, might be drinking an energy drink, maybe a Monster, maybe drinking a coffee, maybe lightening the candle, maybe, setting specific LED lights, like whatever that might be. It just needs to get you to the state of actually, okay, it's time to get the work. So that's the fourth point. Now we have the point number 5, which is the habit number 5, which is going on walks. Guys, I don't honestly know where I would be without going on walks, right? Walks are absolutely powerful, especially for your mind. What they do to me is they calm me down, just like journaling, but here in that a bit of a different sense, because I can actually calm myself down with nature. I can, enjoy the nature. I can kind of get that stress out of me and really just calm down, balance everything. And I go on walks at least once per day, right? And these are not like 5-minute walks. I usually do like 20 to 30-minute walks, which I recommend every single person do. The reason why is also outside of just the habits of improving your physical health, your mental health, but it also actually helps you being in nature, getting that sunlight. It's absolutely necessary part of life, because then you're able to function, you have more energy. Life is just brighter when you go on walks and you actually enjoy the nature, right? Absolutely recommend that. That's the habit number 5. Leading me to habit number 6, which is something that I believe all of the people watching this video already do and should do, which is hitting the gym. Again, super good for mental health. Helps me also balance things with working, because when I'm not working, I'm either at the gym, I'm either boxing, or I'm either running. There's no other things that I do in my life at the moment. Okay, cool. Sometimes I might go out with one of my friends, but what we usually talk about is always business. It's always making money. It's always how to scale things, how to improve things, how to become a better person overall, how to self-improve myself, right? Which, it always leads to this kind of self-improvement cycle, which is really all I do in my life at the moment. So gym is one of these things that helps me, right? First of all, you just look better, right? When you go to the gym, you just feel better, you just feel more confident, and you just look better as a person, right? Clothes fit you better, you feel better about yourself, and you have something that kind of allows you to also have conversations with other high-level people, because most high-level people I know actually go to the gym as well. So if you meet person that you want to talk to, this person is also going to the gym, boom, you already have some things to talk with this person about, because there are interests that you have in common, right? Guys, absolutely powerful. I believe this doesn't need much explanation. But the next habit probably will, because it's actually caffeine. And honestly, most of the things that I achieved are thanks to caffeine. Now, the reason why I say these things, and I know it sounds absolutely crazy and I sound stupid, but caffeine was one of these things that helped me going when there was 3 a.m. in the morning, when I was just super tired, I didn't want to do the work. It was one of these things. It's also because I like caffeine as in terms of drinks, right? I like, for example, drinking Red Bull. I like drinking coffee. And so those are the things that kind of help me, right? Because I'm like, okay, I have to do 3 hours of work. I completely don't want to do this work. I just don't want to. I would rather do anything else, but not that, right? But then I'm like, okay, cool. If I can grab like a Red Bull, like a nice drink, also get some caffeine, get some more energy, then I might want to do it, right? Because it's just more enjoyable. It's super important, guys, that you have also some sort of things that help you along doing deep work. So you're not just like doing deep work, no water, no coffee, no energy, no drink, no nothing. I would actually say that you should have some sort of a thing that makes it more enjoyable, right? So for me, it's, you know, having the candle here. I usually have my coffee. I usually have some nice water with ice, with lemon, and things that really just make doing the work more enjoyable. So guys, these were the 7 habits that actually got me to the position that I am today. Just to recap all of them for you: no phone before breakfast, deep work in the morning, journaling, lighting the candle, having some sort of work triggers, going on walks, hitting the gym, and consuming caffeine. Obviously, don't go too hard on consuming caffeine. This is one of the problems that I used to have. Right now, I'm pretty well balanced with that. But obviously, sometimes there are things that you need to get done. And if you're super tired, well, caffeine is just the answer, right? And obviously, it's probably not the most healthy, not the best health advice that you will hear. In fact, it's probably one of the worst. But hey, at the end of the day, if you have stuff to do and you're super tired, that's one of the very few things that will actually get you to the position where you're actually able to get the work done, which at the end of the day is the most important thing. And then you can obviously optimize, reduce the levels of caffeine, and balance everything as a whole. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you found it valuable and helpful. I'm curious about your thoughts on the 7 habits that I just showed you. I'm also curious about the format of the video. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you enjoyed this specific format, if you would like more of these. And if yes, let me know what topics you would like me to cover. Anything with business, self-improvement, I'm more than likely and more than happy to go ahead and record. If you enjoyed this, guys, please go ahead and leave a sub below. Really helps me, means a ton to me. And I appreciate you taking time to watch this one again. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.